Manipuri mana? Kuki militant. Kuki militant. Indian Armed Forces. Indian Armed Forces. कुकी मिलिटेंट को पैसा किसने दिया है? कुकी मिलिटेंट को किसने सपोर्ट दिया है? कुकी मिलिटेंट को किसने प्रोटेक्शन किया है? डाउन 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 कुकी मिलिटेंट इंडियन मिलिट्री
I, on behalf of the organizing committee of 3rd May organizing committee of today's protest demonstration and public meeting, would like to really give my honor to all of you who are present here today. And also I would like to give a very great, share my thought and the kind of feeling that we have in the last couple of, in the last 1 or 2 weeks. Like today is a very significant day because 12 organizations in Delhi have united and firmly stand together to tell the world that when our existence is threatened, we will be united. We will not have differences. We might have differences. We might have some thought, but when our existence are threatened, we will be united. And this is an example. This is an example that we here, Manipur Student Association Delhi, Mayol, Unikas, Team Meeting Personality, Nupi, Liglam Ngakpa, Number 7, Meeting Heritage Society, Demas, World Meeting Council, Assam, Tripura, Meitei Apun Baluk, and Delhi Meitei Coordinating Committee. Actually, we have together here and wanted to tell a message, not only in Delhi, but also across the community, across the world, that in Manipur also, in any other part of the world, we need to be united so that we will actually face the challenges right now. Please see the photographs. This photograph, this is the first photograph. In this poster, see that photograph. This is the first armed militant organization on the 3rd May. They were in part of the protest demonstration and they came, they attacked. They have coordinated attack on 4 villages. One is in Torbung, one is in More, one is in Kangpokpi, one is in Iko, and also in 4 places. The Kuki armed militant, they have coordinated an attack. And on the 1st May, on the 3rd May, on the first day of the violence, 1 Meitei woman was raped. And more than 6,000 houses were burned down. And when the Kuki armed militant were coming in the public crowd, the Assam Rifle security forces, they were living as a silent spectator. They were actually not protecting when the Meitei houses were burned down in More, when the Meitei houses in Torbung were burned down in Torbung area, and when the Iko in the Dolai Thabi area was burned down, then Assam Rifle and no security forces were coming out. After that, what happened? Manipur people, the Meitei community, have actually decided to self-defense, and then we actually defended at that point of time. That was the origin of the problem. But the question remains. But the question remains is, when these people is already photographed, already evidence are already there. The National Investigation, NIA, the government of India not have arrested this person. Why? The question is why? But the question is, this person is part of the militant organization who are having talks with the government of India. Photograph, then actually the NIA, the National Investigative Agency, or CBI, or any government agency have not arrested this person because this armed militant is belong to the Kuki National Organization and UFO who are having talks with the government of India. Then what is the meaning of that? The meaning of that is that the Kuki militant who are attacking on Meitei villages, they are not doing by this themselves. They are done because of the support of the Indian state. That is what we are saying now. Otherwise, these people have been arrested from a long time back. There are many examples. There are many examples in the last 3 years how government of India have actually complicit, have actually
doing any action. They have not done any action against the Kuki militant, but now we realize that your inaction is also another form of action. Your inaction is another form of support to the Kuki militant. Your action is another form of your protection. Whenever there is only burning in Manipur houses, in Meitei houses, all the Maira Paibis are saying that Assam Rifles were silent. Now, the same thing is happening in Ukhrul area. When the Tangkhuls houses were burned down, the Assam Rifles were looking as a silent spectator. It means the Kuki armed militant, they decided that they have already cleansed all the Meitei houses from the hill area. Now they wanted to do a domination area dominated in the Ukhrul area so that they can also cleanse the Tangkhul community. So why they attack the two communities? In Manipur, the Meitei is one of the dominant community, but Kuki have the courage to attack the Meitei. Again, they also have the courage to attack the Tangkhul community because of what reason? Who is supporting Kuki militant? That is the question we are. Who is supporting Kuki militant? Who is funding Kuki militant? Government of India have sanctioned crores of rupees to pay a salary for 6,000 for every cadre of the Kuki militant. That means they are not militant. They are part of the extra paramilitary forces of the government of India. Like you see PDF, Village Defense, PDF, they are not police, but they are doing the same work of the police activities, and that is why they are also like a uniform of police, like that the Kuki militant are also wearing the same of the Indian military, and that is why they are called the extra constitutional paramilitary forces. Their role is to counter insurgency operation. Earlier, these Kuki militant were used against the militant, but when the militant are actually pushed back to the Burma, now they are being used against the Meitei community. They are being used against the Tangkhul community. Now they will use against the Liang Mai community. They will use against the Muslim. They will use against all the ethnic community of Manipur. The end result will be what? We will be fighting each other, and when the land people have actually vanished, the non-Manipuri will come down and they will settle in our land. That is the policy they have. That is why we all understand here that this war, this conflict is not between the Kukis and Meitei. This conflict is between the government of India and the proxy army with the indigenous people. Are you agree with this point? Yes. This war is not between the Kukis and Meitei, because the original Kuki also wanted to live peacefully in Manipur. They wanted to come down to Imphal. Meitei also wanted to go to Moreh district. But who restricted us? The Assam Rifle in Indian Army. When the member of parliament, Mr. Tamosa Bimol, wanted to visit her own constituency, who restricted Tamosa Bimol? The MP of the parliamentarian, that was the Indian Army, not by the Kuki militant. When the Meitei women were trying to go from the Chiang Mai area, who restricted us? Not by Kuki militant. They are by the Indian military forces. They are saying the Kuki militant might attack you, that is for your safety, that you cannot go. But the real duty should be, they are supposed to attack the Kuki militant, and they should actually wipe out the militant. But instead of taking action against the Kuki militant, they have restricted us for the last 3 years. 1.5 million Meitei population are forced to live inside the jail. We cannot go out, and only it's because of the government of India policy. Do you see any other place in India when communal rights what happened in Gujarat, that Muslim cannot go to the Hindu area, Hindu cannot go to the Muslim area? There was no any demarcation. But why it is happening in Manipur? Because they want to use Kuki militant for the geopolitics. They wanted to influence in Burma. So in order to influence Burma, they need militant support from the Kuki militant. When the 22,000 Ukraine forces have gone to the Mizoram and trained the Kuki militant, what were the Indian intelligence were doing, what the Indian military were doing, what the 57 Mountain Division were doing, they were kept silent. When the Manipur Meitei villages was bombed, drone attack. The Assam Rifle DGP denied that there was no drone attack. But the NIA report clearly says that drone was used. That means all the Indian Army were also covering the Kuki militant activities in Manipur. That is why 2 years war is happening in Manipur. I will give you another one example. On the 28th May 2024, when the chief of the army of Indian Army was present in Imphal, Amit Shah, the Home Minister, was supposed to be there in Imphal. The Minister of State was there in Imphal. There were 13 coordinated attacks happened on the night when the chief of the army was there. What is the meaning of that? When the chief of the army actually even visited to Jammu and Kashmir, not a single bullet could be fired for militant because all the security measures were taken by the security apparatus. But in Manipur, when the Indian Army chief of the army was in Imphal, 13 coordinated attack was happened. On the next day, when the chief of the army was asked at West Bengal by the media, that he said that we had nothing to do with this violence. This is a law and order issue. When at the night, when the army, the uniform, the militant came with the sniper and all the RPGs and attacked the Malay community, Indian Army chief says that we have nothing to do with that. With all this evidence, now that is why people are started saying that now we realize that this war is an engineered war by government of India, by the Amit Shah, by the Ajit Doval, by the Prime Minister, and also Indian Army and the security forces. That is why the Indian Army, the security forces, they are not taking any action against the Kuki militant. But the question remains, how long we suffer in this life? How long we will be forced to live? That is the big question we have. Then what people are saying, that the mothers are saying, even in the Tronglavi area, the people, the civilian, the people living in the relief camps, the civilian who are afraid to go even in the CRPF camp, they actually protested and then ransacked the CRPF camp and saying that if you are not doing your duty, we don't care. You get lost from Manipur, and all their houses were burned down. That is started the revolt of Manipuri people against the Indian Armed Forces. That is the anger. That is the anger of the civilian. That instead of being killed every day, at any time, whenever they wanted to kill, that is why the civilian went to the CRPF camp, and there were 3 people were killed, 19 people were injured by the bullets. But such kind of any ransacking of the Assam Rifles was happening in Chochampur, but they never fired the live bullet. But in Mayapaivis, when the youths were protesting, 3 people were killed. That means some of the people will be killed by the Kuki militant, and when we protest, the army will come and kill us. Then what shall we do now? What shall we do now? Then the time has come for all of us to decide how to defend ourselves. Because Manipur is now part of India. When Manipur became part of India, it means the Indian government has responsibility of Manipuri people. Am I wrong? Indian government and Indian security forces have the right to protect us. That is why we accept them. Because Manipur also know how to defend ourselves, because Manipur, Meitei people, we are the warlike people. In our custom, in our tradition, every 18 years man have to join the military. That called Lalu. So for 1,000 years, 5,000 years, the man has to join the army, the women has to take care of the family and business. The market is there. Market is a symbol of war. If you think Manipurima Kaitan is a symbol of war, then what should we do now? We have to do now that we have to tell ourselves that when our life is threatened, then we have to defend ourselves. Whatever it may come, we have to do anything so that we can protect our land. We can protect our life. We can protect the son and the children like Yaishna, who is only 6 months baby, who was killed. But what is the fault of that two baby? They have no fault, because the only fault is that Tronglawi people believe to the CRPF camp that CRPF camp will protect them, but they failed to protect. But still, there is no justice. No militant organization has been announced, banned by the Indian government. That is one fact. Another important fact I would like to tell you. In 2024, in January, the Manipur police was attacked by 5 times for 5 days by Kuki militant. But Assam Rifle did not come. Assam Rifle did not come to actually save the police. When such kind of attacks happen in Jammu Kashmir, what would happen? When any police outpost in the border area in Rajasthan or Jammu Kashmir is actually attacked by terrorists, then all the Indian army would go and save the police. But in Manipur police, they did not do. The Assam Rifle did not come. That is why one of the police officers sent a video message that we are being attacked. They were not there. That means the Manipur police is also part of the Indian police. They did not help them. That is why there is a big conspiracy of this violence against the Meitei community. This is a big conspiracy. That is why we all need to understand that we have to, actually defend the people, and we have to make ourselves. I will also give you another example. When the 6 women and children were arrested, abducted by the Kuki militant from the Jiribam houses, they were abducted in front of the CRPF camp. When the Kuki militant came and they abducted in front of this CRPF, and then the CRPF did not retaliate at the moment. They were under the custody for 4 days, and then they were killed. After that, what happened? The government of India had extended armed forces special power in the Manipur Meitei villages. The attack was happened in Jiribam, but the attack was happened in Jiribam, and the armed forces special powers were extended in Manipur by the Meitei villages area. What does it mean? It means that when they have coordinated attack, when the Meitei 6 villages, 6 children, 3 children and 3 women were abducted, they were sexually assaulted, and they were even raped. Because of the evidence we found, that the CRPF, the Assam Rifle, did not intervene, did not do any combing operation, did not try. Even the Prime Minister, even the Home Minister did not make any apology or even say a single word. When the 2 children were killed by this arm, the Modi ji ne kuch kaha kya? Prime Minister ne kuch kaha? Aap logon ne suna? Home Minister ne kuch kaha? Even the Defense Minister, even the BSF officer did not visit to the house. It means that even you belong to the security forces, when your son and people are being killed, they don't care. They don't care for our life. Then why should we care for them? We should care for ourselves. We should care for ourselves. And our responsibility of our people in Delhi, that even though if we cannot join in the movement in Manipur, what we can do is that we can mobilize, we can aware the people about the war in Manipur, across the people, across our office, in university, in college, in classes, to tell that this is not a community war, this is a war organized by India government, and we can tell them, at least we can tell them. Can you do that? Can you do that? Can you become a messenger of the truth? Can you become a messenger of the powerful message that the Manipur war is not between the Kukis and Meitei or Kukis and Nagas? It is an organized war actually done by the government of India with the proxy war of their own sepoy, own militant organization, so that we are divided. So with all these things, since we have already understood about the causes of the fight, now we have to resolve ourselves that we will fight together. And this is the example that when we are united, we will face everybody. And we will not depend on them, and we will rely on ourselves. Long live Manipuri Mana! Manipuri Mana! Kuki militant! कुकी मिलिटेंट, इंडियन आर्म फोर्सेस, इंडियन आर्म फोर्सेस, कुकी मिलिटेंट को पैसा किसने दिया है? कुकी मिलिटेंट को किसने सपोर्ट दिया है? कुकी मिलिटेंट को किसने प्रोटेक्शन किया है? डाउन डाउन डाउन